of October 5th to order. Please stand for Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Hey, roll call, please.
Allen? Here. Broughton?
Here.
De Palma?
Here.
Cordella?
Here.
Marshall?
Here.
Trumbull?
Here.
Sherman?
Here. Okay, next we need to approve our agenda. I would like to add an item to our agenda. I would like to add item J, amendment to the 2019 to 2021 Law Enforcement Service Agreement. And everyone, I hope, got my email about that.
I didn't see any email.
You want me to send it
I
to
believe.
you, Jason?
When did you send it, Kathy?
Send it out on Friday.
All right, I was up north. I
It
always
was
meant
Friday.
to see it. Oh, yep, it's in my inbox. Okay, we're good.
Okay. So is everyone good with adding that to the agenda?
Yes.
All right. So we need someone to make a motion to approve the agenda as amended.
I'll make the motion as amended.
Okay, that's by Clerk Allen. And Bob, would you like to second that?
Sure.
I have a motion by Clerk Allen, and it is seconded by Trustee Marshall to approve the agenda as amended. Is there any conversation or discussion on the agenda? Okay, seeing none, all of those in favor of the agenda as amended, please signify by saying aye. Aye. Those opposed, say nay. The agenda has been approved unanimously as amended with the addition of item J. So now we can move on to our reports. First is a Treasury report, and it's looking a little spiffed up, so we'll let Scott speak to the Treasury report.
Yeah, it's the same numbers as you've been seeing it. It's really, this is a document that I don't believe has ever been discussed in the 4 years that I've been active in these meetings. But it was in 4 different Excel files, and they were all slightly different. And so I put them all together. And then I also am breaking out, so now you can see the interest earned instead of before you would just see deposits or increase to the balance, whatever it was called before. And I broke out deposits and interest separately. But other than that, it's the same numbers as you've always seen. I'm just trying to consolidate some of the spreadsheets that are being used in the treasurer's office. I'm just trying to simplify things is what it comes down to.
It looks great.
Yep.
That's very understandable. Thank you.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Thank you, Scott. All right. We also have a general ledger report, a designated report, and Edna Burton Senior Center oh, did I get ahead of myself?
Yeah.
Yeah, you did.
Okay. All right, we have a reconciliation report, a building department report, and no recreation report tonight, but the rec director wanted me to let everyone know that things were moving along, and they did have a COVID case on one of their baseball teams. It was what's that? The older group of guys, they were doing more of like a clinic with Lieutenant Glover. So they had to cancel the end of the season, and they're going to be doing a small refund back to those players. All right, now we can move to the Edna Burton Senior Center report, and Faye is here. She can fill us in.
Hi, everybody.
Hello.
Hey.
Not much new. I've had a few conferences, learned a few things, conferences on the phones, and Oakland County is still not in real good shape with COVID. There's a lot of them. A couple of centers are trying partial openings, but for the size of our center, it wouldn't make any sense. They're only allowed like 1 or 2 people in their workout room, 1 or 2 people in their pool, and if they are doing something upstairs, they have to go, because it's a 2-story building, they have to literally go in through the outside upstairs, and then they have to go out the upstairs outside. And the bathrooms, there's only 1 person allowed in the bathroom at a time, and the bathrooms have to be cleaned every half hour. So it's kind of, for our size of center, it'd be kind of more expense than I think the number of people that we would be allowed to have. And they're not doing any on-site lunches right now either. So on the other side, I was able to, we have a food program, it's called Commodities from TFAP, and it is for low-income seniors and all adults. So we have been doing 60 for many, many years, but I happened to hit it the right time, and she has upped us to 84. That's every 3 months. The last quarter, which would have been in September, I had 12 people that I made up boxes from extras that we have, because we always have a little bit of extra from here or there, or they may send us a little extra, and I managed to get 12 extra boxes out of it. But they will now be sending enough for 84 households. And our Focus Hope, which is for low-income seniors, we have, in the last about month and a half, I've had 3 more people sign up, so we will be now up to 58 instead of the 54, which we were at for quite a while. We had 1 picked up a couple months ago. So other than that, I am working on a reopening plan that is required to have, that you have when you do open. Everybody has to have a plan. So I am working on that to get everything, all my ducks in a row, and then I'm going to send it to Candy and Kathy and have them read it over and see if there's anything that needs to be tweaked. But other than that, not much to report.
Hey, Faye, I have a question.
All right, thank you, Faye.
Sure.
Go ahead, Chris.
No, it's
Bob.
I don't want to be the doomsday voice here. There appears there may be on the future food shortages. Have you given any thought at all about how we can keep the seniors and how we can keep the low-income people having food make it to them, so we're not caught short, or I should say they're not caught short? I don't know if there's a ways you can start stockpiling stuff, or if this goes. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, you're fine. Actually, I do have like a pantry that has like shelf-stable food, like canned goods and stuff, because every now and then TFAP or Focus Hope will send me extra, you know, so then I just put it on a shelf in one of the offices. So if somebody calls and says, hey, my neighbor needs some food, plus right now, every Wednesday, we are getting produce and dairy from Calvary Lutheran Church in Clarkston. And then we deliver that. And then every Thursday, now the one on Wednesday from Calvary Lutheran, they're going month by month. So right now we're going through October. But then on Thursday, we now get dairy, produce, and meat products from, we used to go to Porter's to pick it up, and it was from Prairie Farms. But we have to go to Wild Dairy Farm now and pick it up. And they just informed me that they were upping it from 63 for us to pick up on Thursdays to 70. And we are not turning any of that away.
Okay. Is there a way, is there a way for us to, and I say us and I mean you, of course, is there some way that you could spearhead some sort of collection point? So if people in the community want to donate food to your pantry for those circumstances where we may run short of food for the seniors and low income, that we can actually start stockpiling more food?
Sure, I can put it in the Citizen.
Okay, that would be great.
I can put it in the Citizen, and then like maybe make a drop-off times, or, you know, and because I still do no contact for everything. If somebody comes to pick up medical equipment or anything like that, or any of the food, when they get there, we highlight them, and then we either put it in their car for them, or they come to the porch and pick it up. But there's no signatures required right now or anything. So we would just have them drop it off on the porch, and then we would transport it into the building.
Right, and I'm thinking more along the lines of shelf-stable foods, canned goods.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
All right.
I will do that this week.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Thank you for the report, Faye.
You're welcome.
We do not have a CDBG report this month, so that moves us to trustees' reports. Dana, would you like to start us out? You're muted, Dana.
I do that so if my dog starts barking. Anyways, none of my subcommittees met this month, so I don't have anything to report on that. But I did want to let everybody know that the village did decide that they were going to have trick-or-treating as of right now. But they are not collecting candy. But the streets are going to be closed like usual. CERT's going to be there. They're not doing donuts and cider. I think Fred might be doing a movie, but I don't have total clarification on that yet. But what I wanted to do was just let a few drop-off points for the people in the village to know that Hill Floral / Hill Building, it's the little things, Impact North, and Papa Bella's has all offered to collect candy from residents if they want to go in and drop off candy. And then they are going to set up a date sometime the week before the week of Halloween's a Saturday, so sometime that week before that Saturday of time for the people in the village to come and pick it up. So they're trying to do their best to still collect candy for all the residents in the village to be able to pass out. So I just wanted to pass that news on since I saw it on Facebook, and I didn't know if anybody has seen it or not who might not be on Facebook, so I thought I'd mention it at our meeting.
Thank you for sharing that, Dana. That's important that we get candy to the kids.
Yeah, and for the residents, because they get a lot of kids in the village, and that's a lot for them to try to pay, a lot of money for them to spend if they didn't get some donations.
Yeah. And Parks and Recreation at this point is still is planning to show a movie. It would be on the Sherman Park Fields, and everyone's going to be spaced out. But if it rains, it's going to get canceled, so hopefully hope for good weather.
Great.
You mean they're gonna be
And
spread
I
out,
know,
not spaced
Shelby,
out,
that Lisa from It's the Little Things might be getting to you, Shelby, to give you some information, maybe if something can go in the briefs or something about the candy collection. And then once we know the details of pickup, I think some of the locations are gonna split times because like Papa Bell's is open later than some of the other places and stuff. Thank you. That's all I had.
All right, thank you, Dana. Jason.
Yep, I just want to wish everybody a happy Halloween at the end of the month. And Dana, to your point, the movie is supposed to happen in Kathy. And I believe Brandon Groveland Youth Assistance has volunteered to pay for the movie license. I've seen that in my email from that. So I know that that is coming. And that's it.
Okay, thank
missed the
you,
love-
Jason.
I missed
Oops,
for the
go ahead,
Love a
Dana.
Local is also, I'm sorry, I missed for the Love a Local is also a drop-off location. So there's the Impact Little Things, Hill Flora, Love for Local, and Papa Bella's. So there's 5 actually. So Lena can get that better in the minutes. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Chris, do you have something for tonight?
The planning commission met twice last month, and I was able to make it to one of the meetings. You folks have got it as part of new business, what we accomplished and what we are presenting to you. So you guys will see it coming up if you haven't already looked at it. So that's about it. That's all I've got.
Okay, thank you, Chris. Bob. Bob, you're muted right now.
I wasn't saying anything anyway, but I have nothing other than I hope everybody has a safe Halloween and all the kids take care.
Okay, thank you, Bob. And we will move on then to our treasurer's report.
I don't have a whole lot, Kathy. We got through tax season. It was my first and quite busy. It was interesting, but now I know what to expect for the future. I would say we're over 95% taxes collected. The remainder of them, some may go delinquent, and some are, and they're still trickling in probably 6 to 10 payments a day. So we're getting close. And that is all.
Okay, thank you. Clerk Allen.
Excuse me, I'm so sorry. I wanted to touch on Faye's report and tell her it was a great job by Faye, Pete, Linda, and Jean. And of course, all the Meals on Wheels volunteer drivers. Keeping our senior center going at the rate it is wonderful. Nobody has called and complained and said they couldn't get a ride or going hungry, so kudos to Faye. And by the way, today Smart called me and asked me at what capacity our senior center is working. 0% to 100% or 50 or 75. So I told her 75%. The only thing not happening are seniors being able to come in, have a cup of coffee, play a game of cards, socialize. That's the only thing they're missing out on. Everything else is being happening for them. So I'm very proud of all that team. Secondly, we are still getting ballots out. We have sent so far 3,704 ballots out, and we're not done yet. We have worked weekends, late nights, and we're doing our very best to get them done. Our plan is they should all be out early Wednesday, every one of them. So I appreciate everybody's patience, and we're just doing the best we can. We got them a day and a half before the legal deadline to have them ready for in-person, which we had them on the 24th, and we had several people come to the counter and get them. So it's we're starting to see the end of the tunnel, and it's certainly been an experience. I would like to remind all the voters that their ballot is two-sided if you live in precincts 1 through 5. Precinct 6, which is Village, has actually 2 sheets of paper, 3 sides. So make sure to place them back into the secrecy sleeve, which is the goldenrod color, with the ballot number showing. Put it inside of the white and green return envelope, which has postage on it. Compliments of the Secretary of State. And then sign the outside of that envelope and return them to us either in person, or we do have two drop boxes. One is a drive up on the very right-hand corner of the building, as you can just drive up, pop it in. We share that box with taxes and elections. And the second one is you have to get out of your vehicle. It's the second door on the east side of the building. It says clerk. Pressing on the clerk flap, and it comes directly into our department. So we have a lot of going on because of the building renovation has started. So whatever method works best. If you don't get your ballot by the end of the week, first part of next week, please call our office. We'll check to see where it could be. That's it for me. Oh, and one more thing. I wanted to thank Scott and Carrie, the Deputy Treasurer, for helping us out with some ballot work. It was greatly appreciated. It was very nice. I appreciate it very much. That's all.
Okay, good job working together, crew. Thank you, Clerk Allen, for the treasurer, or sorry, I'm the supervisor, for the supervisor's report. I'd like to start in with where the clerk left off. They started working on the township office facelift today. They're going to be working pretty much all of October with taking off the bricks, building a new entry, and then putting up stone. And just to let everyone know that during the demolition today, they found out that the brick extends all the way up behind the mansard roof that comes down. So it will be more expensive than they quoted us because they have to support that part of the top part of the brick. I don't have a quote yet as far as the extra cost, but once I get that, I'll share it with the board. We also have new tile down on the bathroom floors, and that was replaced a couple weeks ago. And we also have a new larger flagpole with both flags flying on it instead of 2 poles in front of the building. So it's good to see some work getting done on the building finally. And in the assessing department, they're working on their 20% review that they have to do every year, and also they're working on their PRE audit. We've been getting a lot of activity from prospective buyers inquiring about properties and splits. Home sale prices are up, which will be reflected in the end of the year sales study. So that gives you an update on the supervisor assessing department. So that's it for my report. I hope everyone has a safe Halloween and enjoyable Halloween as well. So we'll move on to correspondence. We have the Parks and Recreation Subcommittee meeting minutes of September 3rd, 2020, and the Planning Commission meeting minutes of August 11th, 2020. So that brings us to our citizens' comments. So if we have any citizens today who would like to make a comment, please, let's see, direct your comments to the board. We'll be happy to answer any questions at the end of the meeting. Please state your name, and although it's not required, we also ask that you state the city, township, or village in which you live. Comments shall be courteous and limited to 3 minutes per speaker. So if we have any residents that would like to make a comment on an agenda item, please unmute yourself and state your name. Okay, I hear no comments. so we'll move on to our discussion item. We have one discussion item this evening, and that is 2021 NOHAS program participation. We participated in 2019. We had 151 loads dropped off during the 5 collections. This year, we opted not to participate in NOHAS. So I just want to get some feedback from the board to see if they want to participate in 2021, so I can let the county know.
Kathy, you know, I way back because we first went back on NOHAS when I was on the board, and I was very, very pleased that we did so. But after serving at one of the events and getting the count, I think if we do this once every 3 years, we're probably in good shape. It's very expensive.
Okay. Anybody else want to chime in?
Yeah, as I recall, didn't we say, might have been 2 years ago, that we were going to only do it periodically. We weren't going to do it every year. And I'd agree with Scott. I mean, if he thinks that every 3 years would work, that's fine with me. It'll give time for people to clear out their garages and their basements and their barns and sheds.
Okay. Dana, Jason, or Chris? Jason, you're muted. Dana, did you raise your pen?
Jason can go if you wanted to.
I said I'm fine with it every 2 to 3 years as well. It's not something we need to spend money on every year. In my opinion.
I agree with that.
Okay.
I agree. I was just gonna ask, because all we have here is our participation for 2019. I didn't know what 18 looked like if we kind of had a flow to. We didn't do it in 18, right?
No, we didn't. We hadn't done it since 2008.
Right.
Okay, so it was that long. Yeah, I say we wait at least every few years. Plus, there's a new board coming, so who knows how they'll feel. So I say no right now, and then we'll look at it again next year.
Okay. Chris, you're on board with that?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, thank you for your input. Did anybody else want to say anything about NOHAS before we move on to the consent agenda? Okay, we'll close our discussion on NOHAS and move to the consent agenda. Tonight we have regular meeting minutes of September 8th, 2020. Regular bills in the amount of $21,666.40. Prepays in the amount of $136,509.97. Township benefits from payroll account of $33,260.20. And trustee timesheets in the amount of $728.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda as presented.
Okay.
Second.
Was that you, Chris? Okay.
Yeah, that was Chris.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, I have a motion by trustee Rumble to approve the consent agenda as presented, and that motion was seconded by trustee Cordella. Is there any discussion on the consent agenda this evening? We have a couple trustees that need to get their timesheets in, so they'll just be paid next month.
Yeah, I sent it. Well, I thought I sent it in. Once I got the agenda, I saw it was not on there, so I checked. And although I did my agenda or my timesheet, I forgot to send it, so it's sat in my drafts. So I already emailed Lisa and told her.
Okay. Okay, again, I have a motion by trustee Rumble and it's seconded by trustee Cordella to approve the consent agenda as presented. Let's do a roll call, please.
Palma,
You're on
Yeah.
mute, Dana.
Yes, yes, I know, I saw that. Yes,
Cordella,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Broughton,
Yes.
Sherman,
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. We have no unfinished business this evening, so we'll move right on to our new business. Our first item is the amendment to the conditional rezoning at 2370 Granger. This is our second reading. This was presented to us last month, so hopefully everybody got all their questions answered. Would someone
I'll
like to
make
make
the
the motion?
I'll make the motion to adopt the second reading, an application for an ordinance amendment to rezone and change the zoning map for parcel 03-21-100-004, 2370 Granger Road from RE Rural Estate to conditional recreation per the attached rezoning documents that were submitted with the application.
I'll second that.
Okay. Do we have any discussion on this item? Yep. Okay. Hopefully all the questions and concerns were answered because the building director was unable to make it to our meeting tonight. Okay, I have a motion by trustee DePalma and is seconded by trustee Cordella to adopt an application for an ordinance amendment to rezone and change the zoning map for parcel 021-100-004 from RE Rural Estate to a conditional rec per the attached rezoning documents that were submitted with the application. And if there's no further discussion, we'll do a roll call, please.
Cordella,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Broughton,
Yes.
Palma,
Yes.
Sherman,
Yes, motion carries unanimously. We'll move on to the next item, which is rezoning of 2165 South Ortonville Road, and that's the first reading. So this did go to the Planning Commission, correct, Chris?
Yes, this is, if I'm not mistaken, this is basically the owner of Bullfrogs, wanting to, he's using it already, the parking lot that's on that little Coney restaurant just north of Bullfrogs. You guys know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, well, he wants to demolish that little building, because there's nothing in it, I guess, and it's got no septic field, which blew me away. But anyways, he wants to make it into a parking lot. Bottom line, he wants his employees to be able to park there, and John Hagar owns the home and the property between Bullfrogs and the old Coney place or whatever it was, restaurant, and he wants a boatload of money for it, so that's why he can't get the property north of him. So that's what's going on there. So the employees will have to walk along the, we weren't really happy about this idea along the roadway to get back to Bullfrogs, but
Hey, Chris, that's the exact question that I had is, and looking at this map, I'm thinking it's great that you're buying more parking lot space, but it looks to me like the only way to get from one to the other is to trudge across somebody else's property.
well, yeah, that was the thing that caused us a lot of consternation, and there was like, we kept asking him about that, and I'm not 100% sure why we allow that to happen, except that he's been doing it already, kind of thing, and it's been working out okay, And it was like, well, we'd really like to have some sort of pathway if you could work it out. And tell you the truth, I'm not sure what we ended up agreeing to with the gentleman, Scott, to answer your question. We had the same concern you had, by the way. Not really high on walking along the roadway, but there is. Oh, I think this is what happened. The agreement is there was enough, besides roadway, there was enough spin-off of the turnout road going northbound that would shelter the people a little bit more from being closer to the road for quite a distance. So looking at all that, it was like they're not going to be as close as you would be in a normal stretch on M15. That's what it came down to, Scott.
Okay. As long as the planning commission beat it to death, then I guess I'm good. I just want to make sure that was discussed because.
Yeah, we did. We beat it thoroughly, and we went round and around and around on it, and finally, that's what he did bring it up, and we were like looking at it, and we're like, yeah, that's right. I do remember that, and okay. And then he says, well, they're already doing it right now, and we're kind of going like, yeah, everything's going okay, yeah, okay.
And the zoning
Because I guess
fits in with
he already owns the property, so.
and he's just asking to have it rezoned, and the zoning fits in with our master plan.
Right.
And sometimes in these cases, if we don't follow our master plan, then we get into a little bit of legal issue with it.
That was a little side. That was definitely a sidebar, Kathy. That was brought up by the gentleman who owns Bullfrogs. I forget his name right now. Nice guy, but he did bring that up, and we were like, yeah, it is part of the master plan. And so the attorney looked at it and said, yeah, it's within the bounds. So that's what happened.
Kevin Kinsley?
Yeah, I think that sounds familiar. Is the owner of Bullfrogs?
Yep. It's in the supplemental information.
So Chris is done. He's answered our question. I just have a kind of a side question that maybe nobody has the answer to. So that previous, I think it was called Country Coney, that they were functioning without the proper zoning there all along. Is that the case? I
believe so.
Okay.
I don't know if that's the case, but I do know that he needs to get it rezoned to tear down the thing and make it into a parking lot. So okay.
They might have had a variance or something, Scott, to be able to operate it. I'm not sure what the background is, but I feel like I might not be happy about the employees walking the side of the road, or if you want to call the right of way, or on someone's property, but I don't think we can. I think I have to vote to change it to the master plan because that's the way it's zoned, and I don't know if we can.
And I agree. I was just asking the questions. I agree with you, though.
It's zoned for that. We need to change it.
Yep.
Would someone like to make the motion as stated?
So moved.
All right.
Was that you, Bob? Oh,
yeah, Jason.
Was that you, Jason, that made the motion?
Yes.
Okay, and Trustee Marshall seconded?
Correct.
Okay, I have a motion by trustee Rumble, and it is seconded by trustee Marshall to accept for introduction an application for an ordinance amendment to rezone and change the zoning map for parcel 0330227002, which is at 2165 South Ortonville Road, from R1B Single Family Residential to C1 Local Commercial per the attached rezoning documents that were submitted with the application. Any further discussion? Okay, seeing none, roll call, please.
Marshall,
Yes.
Trumbull,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Broughton,
Yes.
Palmer,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes, motion carries unanimously. And next we have a resolution regarding drains, lake level control facilities assessments.
Yeah, this is mine, Kathy.
Yep.
We're introducing no new taxes or anything here. It's just, I'm making it a little more official how we're passing this charge along to the homeowners. It's the same thing that's been done for a decade. It's just that we've never put it in a resolution that we are doing this. And moving forward, this is just gonna be something that we're gonna see every year. It's just a resolution approving moving this $80,000 worth of tax onto the rolls so it gets spread out. And believe it or not, it gets spread out over 3,500 properties. You know, so some people see $1.10, some people see $5.50, some larger properties see larger numbers.
And I see that you would like to make the resolution, offer the resolution.
Yes, I guess. Oh, you mean because I typed my name in there already?
Yep.
Yeah, I just figured, well, if I'm going to bring this up, I guess I should support it.
That's fine. Yep. Who'd like to second?
I'll second it.
That was trustee Rumble?
Yes.
Okay, thank you.
Was the paperwork included in the packet?
You know what, Chris, I included the letter, the actual paperwork that supports those numbers. Like I said, it's 3,500. I do have a copy of the printout, but it's about 45 pages of extremely small. I don't know, you're not gonna be able to see that there. You can see how
Okay,
small
no,
the print is. So I
that's
just, I didn't see any value in putting it in everybody's packet because it's
Yeah.
pretty, you know.
Well, you did put the front letter, which
Yeah.
was great. And I appreciate, Scott, that you are being more transparent, I guess I can say, by putting this out there, because that was my one question. I knew it was already on the tax roll, but I wasn't sure if this was new or.
I'd like to take credit for it.
so.
I got this suggestion from another treasurer, and I agreed with the suggestion. And just moving forward, we're going to see this every year.
Yeah, no, I like that. And you answered my question about that it's not a new part of it, because that's what I was concerned is I know we've had it as this addition to what we've had.
Same thing we've been doing for years, of just making it more official.
Okay.
Okay, I have a motion by trustee Broughton and it is seconded by trustee Rumble to resolve that the Charter Township of Brandon Board of Trustees authorizes the county assessor to spread the above amount to the 2020 tax roll. And that amount is $80,755.30. $80,755.30.
Correct.
Okay. Any discussion on this motion or resolution? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Broughton,
Yes.
Palmer,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes, motion carries unanimously. So we can move on to the MDOT permit resolution. We did this last year, and I think, let's see. I know that this needed to be in place when the school wanted to put up their Brandon signs on the telephone poles. And if we ever want to hang anything across M15, we would need this to be in place. But typically, we're probably not going to use it very much at all. But it's just one of those things that we can have on file, and it's there ready for us in case we need it. Any questions?
No, I'll make the motion as presented.
I'll support
Okay.
Jason.
All right. Okay, I have a motion by Trustee Rumble and it is seconded by Trustee DePalma to approve the MDOT performance resolution for governmental agencies as presented and list the supervisor and clerk as authorized positions to apply for permits to work within state highway right-of-way and allow the supervisor to sign the resolution. Okay, any further discussion out there? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Allen,
Yes.
Broughton,
Yes.
Palmer,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes. Motion carries unanimously. We can move on to the allocation of the 2021 franchise fees. So, in looking at past years, we have not really brought down the carry forward much. So instead of taking 70% of the total revenues, which includes the interest and reimbursements, I would just did 50% for to cover the budgeted amount for this year or for next year. So that means more money will be allocated back to the township and the village. Also, just as a point of interest, the OTB was planning to make a large purchase this year to make it wireless, but because of the COVID, they are going to postpone that, so that amount will not be spent this year. It may be spent next year. He's still doing some research before he brings that to the board for an expenditure.
Kathy, when you're talking about you're changing the percentages, you're just changing the amount that we're putting directly to the cable franchise versus the general fund. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
But
the allocation will go into the general fund.
Okay.
But the 50%, that's the 50% of the 101, 156, 101, 156. So it's generally $100,000. That is their typical average expenditures minus the transfers. The transfers are in the budget, but that's what's getting reimbursed to the village and the township.
Okay.
So
I didn't get to ask my question though. My question was, is you're not changing the percentage that we're sharing with the village though?
No, I'm not changing that. I'm changing the amount that we're moving out of the cable fund.
Okay. And I shouldn't say sharing with the village because it's equally part theirs as well. We're not sharing it. They're getting what they're due.
Did anyone else
Why
have
are-
any questions?
Yeah, why are we doing
Yeah,
this?
Chris.
Yes, why are
We
we
do this
doing?
every year. We do this every year, Chris. We get cable franchise fees for,
I know.
Right.
I didn't know. I forgot that we did this every year.
yeah.
Okay, very good. If we do
We're
it every
just
year,
this year we're just increasing the amount that comes back to the township and the village. And also I called Charter because in our original franchise agreement with Charter, we had to spend 2/5 on the cable broadcast station, and we could only take 3/5 out of the revenues. But now, since we have the universal franchise agreement, universal, but it means universal. Okay, so once we have that in place, when we sign that agreement, we do not no longer have to adhere to that 2/5 to the cable broadcast station. So that gives us a little bit more flexibility on what we can do. And since we'd like to keep at least 100,000 in the fund balance, because that would be 100% of our expenditures, and now we're over, we want to kind of lessen the carry forward a little bit each year. Yes, Dana.
So I'm okay with doing that. I guess my question is because he didn't spend the money this year for the wireless, are you still leaving enough in for the typical 100,000 expenditures plus the wireless by taking the amount you're taking?
Yes, there'll be enough in there.
Okay, that's all. Thank you.
Would anyone like to make the suggested motion?
Sure, I'll make the motion.
Support.
Is that you, Mr. Marshall?
Was.
All right, I have a motion by Trustee DePalma, and it is seconded by Trustee Marshall to approve the transfer of $139,023.59 of cable franchise fees from the Brandon Township Cable Savings Fund 705-748-999-101 to the Charter Township of Brandon's General Fund 101-000980705 in 2021, and to remit $15,946.41 of cable franchise fees from Brandon Township Cable Savings Fund 705-748-999-102 to the Village of Ortonville in 2021. Any other questions, concerns, discussion on this one? Okay, I don't see any, so roll call, please.
Couldn't hear you, Lena.
Broughton,
Yes.
Palmer,
Yes.
Cordella,
yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Trumbull,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Sherman,
Yes, motion carries unanimously. That moves us to the Smart CARES Act funding.
Did you go over the speed limit resolution?
I think you skipped one.
She
Oh,
did.
did I skip? Oh, sorry. Okay.
That's right.
Thank you, Candy. We'll back up. We're going to do the speed limit resolution. Okay, so remember we brought this wanting to lower the speed limit to Brandon Township, and we were met with a lot of resistance from the state police and the road commission. So what we're trying to attempt here is have it county-wide. At my last supervisors meeting, or actually the last two meetings, this was brought up. So the other townships in the Oakland County area are gonna try to approve the same resolution. Our group of supervisors has approved a resolution that's very similar to this already. So we're hoping that if we're all in support, that we can make it countywide.
Kathy, I guess I do have questions about this when I saw this during reading the packet. You know, as I served on the road committee, subcommittee, I had sat through numerous presentations. You and I went down to Pontiac and sat with a number of supervisors at that time in the state police and got the same presentation again. And it seems like everybody just wants to ignore the professional opinion here. I don't get it.
I don't think this, on another note too, I don't think this resolution is very clear. It doesn't even say who they're asking to take action in the last sentence. It just says enact legislation, but it doesn't say who. Who are you asking to enact legislation?
I believe it's Oakland County.
Okay, if that's the case, you might want to say that. Because this doesn't
add
even
that
say
in.
who. But I kind of agree with Scott. I mean, I think it's kind of a dead end. I mean, we've already been told by our police department and by the state police that the one speed study we did do, they should have raised the speed limit.
And, you know, we heard testimony, and I forget, it was from a township or from Rochester Hills itself, that they did this and they changed the speed limit, and then they regretted lowering the speed limit because it actually made things worse, because suddenly you put up signs or people find out, well, the accepted speed limit is 45. Well, then people want to drive that regardless of road conditions. And I don't know. I've just heard too many times that this is a bad idea from people that know what they're talking about, and I'm not going to pretend to know better than them.
I have a concern about the last whereas on this page. I'm sorry, the second one up from the last. That it's just to lower the speed limit, but not to give a number. Lower it to what?
Yeah, you're right. It's not clear on what speed limit either. It just says 55, and then it mentions 45, but it doesn't say anything.
Right. So it could be reduced to 5. I mean, kind of open-ended.
Right, and I think because if you go to the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the fifth one down, it's talking about 45 miles an hour, and yes, it should be 45 miles an hour on the third one from the bottom. Be lowered to 45 miles an hour.
Right.
So who wrote this? Who's trying to get this passed? It's not Oakland County then?
This was put together by Independence Township.
They don't even really have that many dirt roads, do they?
They have quite a few.
Do they?
And they're getting a lot of complaints, like we were with residents wanting the speed limit lowered.
Do you know if any other townships have supported this yet? I'm just curious.
I know there's a few. It's going to their boards this month. I believe one has already approved it.
I'm mixed. I mean, I feel like they need to be lower. I just don't know if doing this will help it or make it worse.
Yeah, you know, I got a question.
Go ahead, Chris.
Is this, if it passes, if they get enough people to pass it, is this going to be for all of Oakland County dirt roads?
Yes, that's what they're trying to do, make it all of Oakland County.
And then, you know,
Okay,
the
at which
other.
point, wait, let me, I got a follow-up question. At which point in time, then I guess we don't have to put up all these signs. That is the law. And we need to put up just certain signs in Oakland County just saying, hey, it's 45, max 45, I guess, and stuff like that. So that would help a little bit, but you know, I'm kind of mixed on this thing too.
Well, and then Kathy, your last whereas where you talk about costs, or it doesn't really discuss it at all, but it just says that Brandon Township were responsible for putting up all those signs. And let's say they pass this, and then all of a sudden we're required to have a sign every X miles on all of our dirt roads. That could be extremely expensive.
I don't have any mixed feelings about this at all. I've been saying all along the prima facie speed law on the dirt roads is ridiculous at 55. There's no way somebody can control their car, especially in a washboard area, where a car is going 55 over washboard dirt roads. Just not possible. You're going to lose control. As far as the concern about the sign costs, I think that's small potatoes if you can lower the speed limit down to 45. I travel the side roads, dirt roads in Brandon Township every single day, and there's a lot of people going way too fast. Now, granted, I'm a slower driver. I never exceed 30 on a dirt road, but they're blowing by me like they're on the expressway. So I have no problem with this at all. I'm in agreement with it, doing it.
Bob, that's okay, but saying that it's small potatoes for the cost of these signs is not correct. Kathy,
Scott, I was at the same meetings as you were, Scott, so I heard the costs, and I still think it's well worth the investment on a lower speed limit.
Kathy, I don't remember the numbers exactly, but I remember we were struggling with just doing the 4 main roads, the cost of doing. Do you remember what it was cost to put up one sign?
I don't off the top of my head, Scott, and I don't want to take a guess at it and mislead people.
I'm thinking it was. I think I was thinking the number was $1,500, which I know sounds crazy, but.
Kathy, is there a deadline for us to pass or not pass this resolution? Are they asking for it at a certain time?
No, not necessarily. We could postpone it to next meeting if you want, and I could get more information. Maybe one of the questions would be the cost of the signs and how many signs we would need to put up.
Right.
I don't think the cost is going to make a difference to me because the cost of someone's safety, there is no cost to that. It's not like we don't have a carry forward. I mean, we just spent money redoing a building because of safety supposedly. So I don't see roads are safety.
I agree. We just got money not going to put into the cable line that could be spent on signs if it needed.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Basically, we're just trying to answer this issue that the other townships are also experiencing with people going too fast on the gravel roads, and just trying to do it as a county-wide thing instead of a individual township basis.
Well, here's an additional thought, something to think on. And for the law enforcement personnel or former law enforcement personnel in the audience, he'll probably verify this. Most cops will have like a 10-mile-an-hour speed limit buffer. So if it's 35, they're not gonna write for anything under 45. They're gonna have a 10-mile-an-hour buffer zone. So given that thought, if we're having 55 now prima facie, you're starting to look at cops that are going to be writing tickets at 65 or over. There's no way in hell we should have people traveling 65 on the state roads.
There's no way in hell we should have people driving 55.
Exactly.
Well, and the other thing too is right now, people should be driving according to the conditions of the road, and that's very ambiguous as far as law enforcement goes.
It's very
You know.
ambiguous for like a lot of people too.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that. And
Unfortunately, there's a lot of people that aren't real sharp that live out by me. I'll tell you that much.
Scott, I remember the story you were talking about the Rochester issue with the guy who kept asking and they put it down, but I think they put it down to like 35 or something.
Yeah, you're correct,
More.
Dana. It was 35.
If
Yeah.
they put it down to 35, I could see the problem. But if you're kind of meeting in the middle, I mean, I know I'm going to age myself here, but gosh, I remember when I was growing up, the main roads were more 45 where I was growing up. And I could see that more doable for these gravel roads. I don't drive 45 on the gravel roads, but I don't know.
Dana, how'd you get the horses going that fast?
I'm not bad. It's just crazy to see what the expressways have changed over the years, though, from.
Yep.
Does anybody want to make this, or does anybody want to make a motion to approve the resolution to support legislation to reduce the speed limit on unimproved roads
I'll support that.
as presented? Well, I guess it shouldn't be as presented. It should be as amended because we want to add in the third one from the bottom, any township, Brandon Township residents are requesting the 55-mile-an-hour speed limit on local gravel roads to be lowered to 45 miles per hour. And add that in there.
I think that last paragraph needs to be clarified too, but I don't know to what, because I don't know who's trying to pass this.
Where are you talking at?
The
Jason,
last paragraph doesn't say who you're asking to enact legislation.
So we want to put Oakland County in there. Let's see, where can we put it?
But does Oakland County even have that ability, or is that a state legislation? That's what I'm saying. We need to. The way this is written, it doesn't make sense. I'm not opposed to lowering it to 45 by any means, but this is not clear on what we're asking them to do, or who's asking to do it.
I don't think the board.
Well, it says with the approval of so maybe it is the state, because with the approval of the road commission, that's what we had to go through before, was the state and the road commission.
I would assume this is a state thing, so I don't think this is clear at all on what or who we're asking anybody to do.
And I really don't see how the board can vote on something if they don't know what the cost is going to be. You could say it doesn't matter, but it does matter. We should know what it's going to cost if we're going to say yes to this, especially when the professionals have told us that we shouldn't do it.
Kathy, did someone support the motion?
Yes, I did.
Yes.
Oh,
Who supported it?
Bob.
I thought Trustee Marshall made the motion.
He did.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So
Right.
I do need someone to support.
We shouldn't be discussing without it supported.
Would someone like to support it? If you support it, you don't have to vote for it.
I'll support it so we can get this discussion.
Okay.
Is there any way that we can vote on it and just have it amended with the 45 and then just be taken toward action on the enactment of legislation which would allow townships with the approval of road commission? I mean, is there any way to leave it of, I don't know, to county and to the state, just in case it has to go to both?
Say that again, Dana.
Just somewhere in that somewhere in the last paragraph, I don't know if it has to go to county, state, but you could just say with the county and or state.
Why don't we just
Enactment.
say, why don't we put that in after the first comma? The Township Board of Trustees of the Charter Township of Brandon urges the county and/or state with all due expedience.
Yeah, I would think that would then cover if the county can do it or the state.
Okay.
That's my opinion.
All right. Is that good with you, Bob and Candy?
Bob's muted.
And Bob, you're muted.
Sorry, yeah, that's fine.
Okay.
I still
So it
think
would
we need
read-
the numbers for the money. At least, that's my opinion. We need to know about what it's gonna cost.
So it's the Township Board of Trustees of the Charter Township of Brandon urges the county and/or state with all due expedience that diligent steps be taken toward action on and the enactment of legislation which would allow townships with the approval by the road commission to establish speed limits on gravel roads based on criteria such as road conditions, topography, and traffic patterns, all of which are best known by individuals and their elected representatives residing in the locality. And they have reached out to the road commission, and the road commission is supportive of us doing this.
And what about Oakland County Sheriff? Are they going to actually enforce it?
They're not gonna have an option.
Well, I thought that was part of the reason that the 25 miles an hour was removed 12 years ago or whenever it was, is because Oakland County and other counties, they said their sheriffs, they just didn't have the manpower to enforce the speed limits anyways.
Well, if it's the law, it's the law, and that's their job. So they might not like it, but it's the job.
Right, and I think the manpower issue came up, Scott, when they were doing the speed study.
Right. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, because how much are they out there doing enforcing of the 55 right now? So, I mean, does it have to be more than what it already is just because we changed to 45? I don't know.
Yes, and Lieutenant Glover's not here to answer that question.
And getting a cost on it, I mean, we all know what's happened with costs. This could take a year to do and the cost could change.
I don't know. I don't think we have enough to, well, I don't think I have enough to vote one way or the other on this. But again, I'm not opposed to lowering it, but I don't think it's written well, and I don't have enough information to vote yes.
I would like
Any other
to
discussion?
agree-
Yes, Chris, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm in agreement with Jason. You know, I'm in favor of this, but this is really obscure the way it's written right now. There's a lot of stuff that needs to be filled in, as far as I'm concerned, and clarified as to who's doing what, who's involved, who's okayed it. Is the road commission on board with this? And then also, I agree with Scott. I mean, it just would be good to have the costs. Okay, I'm not sure that that's going to sway me one way or the other. I don't think it will, but it would be good to have the costs. So what I would like to, propose is that we move this to next meeting, and Kathy, you rewrite it with all this information, all this feedback that we've given you, and let's get some more information and review it again next meeting. That's my proposal.
Okay, well, we still have to vote on this motion because we have someone that made the motion, someone that seconded it.
Kathy, I'm not sure if it's allowed, it's parliamentarian allowed, but I'll withdraw my support and move instead to table it till next meeting.
Well, what we can do, Bob, is we can vote this down, and then we can take vote another motion to bring it back to the next meeting.
Okay, all right.
Okay, any further discussion? Okay, so we have a motion by Trustee Marshall, and it is seconded by Trustee DePalma to approve the resolution to support legislation to reduce the speed limit on unimproved roads as amended. And if there's no further discussion, we'll do a roll call, please.
Palmer,
Yes.
Cordella,
No.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble,
No.
Allen,
No.
Broughton,
No.
Thurman,
Yes. Motion is defeated by 4-3. So, Trustee Marshall, did you want to make a motion to bring this back with more information next meeting?
Yes, I'd like to have this motion tabled, a resolution tabled until next meeting.
Postponed? Okay.
And at that time, the additional language that we discussed here tonight would be included. And then also if you can find it, the numbers per sign that we're looking for, because that seems to be a concern among some.
I support you, Bob.
Yeah, it would be
Sorry, I'm
number.
a slow writer. All right, I have a motion by Trustee Marshall, and it is supported by Trustee DePalma to postpone this item to next meeting with additional language and the cost of signs.
It's not only the cost per sign, but how many they're going to require per mile, and how many miles are we going to have to put that on?
Cost and number of signs.
Yeah, because
Total cost.
They could come back, and if you recall, back when we were at 25, we had those signs. They were about one every mile, and it's too bad that they didn't just take the faceplates off those signs and leave the poles up, because now they're going to have to redig all those poles again.
Okay, so is this the correct motion then, Trustee Marshall, to postpone this item to the next meeting with additional language included and cost and number of signs?
Correct.
I'll put with the cost and number of signs.
That'll work.
Okay. Okay, I have a motion by Trustee Marshall, is seconded by Trustee DePalma to postpone this item to our next meeting with additional language included with the cost and number of signs available or presented. Any further discussion? All right, roll call, please.
Cordella,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Broughton,
Yes.
Palma,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes, motion carries unanimously. We'll bring it back. Now we can do the Smart Cares Act funding.
Yep. This is new, of course, because of the COVID, and I'd like to make the motion to have the clerk sign the CARES Act funding agreement for SMART and send the completed letter to SMART person before October 12th, 2020.
I'll support.
Would like to, was that you, Dana?
Yes.
Any discussion? Okay, I have a motion by Clerk Allen, and it is seconded by Trustee DePalma to have the clerk sign the CARES Act funding agreement for SMART and send the completed letter to the SMART ombudsperson before October 12th, 2020. Any discussion at all? Okay, roll call, please.
Marshall,
You're muted, Bob.
Bob, you're muted.
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Broughton,
Yes.
Palma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes, motion carries unanimously. So moving right along, the SMART Municipal Credit and Community Credit Contract for fiscal year 2021.
I'll also make the motion to have the clerk sign the SMART new municipal credit and community credit contract for fiscal year 2021 and send the completed letter to the SMART ombudsperson before October 9th, 2020.
Would like to second.
Support.
Okay. And discussion or questions? Okay, moving right along. I don't see any discussion, so I have a motion by Clerk Allen, and it is seconded by Trustee Rumble to have the clerk sign the SMART Municipal Credit and Community Credit Contract for fiscal year 2021 and send the completed letter to the SMART ombudsperson before October 9th, 2020. Okay, everyone seems like they've decided on this one, so go ahead and do a roll call, please.
Rumble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Broughton,
Yes.
Palma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes, motion carries unanimously. That brings us to the distribution site agreement for Meals on Wheels program. And I hope everyone got the agreement. That was sent out later today.
I apologize for not including that. It was an oversight. I'll make the motion to have the clerk sign the distribution site agreement between Older Persons Commission, OPC, and Brandon Township from October 1, 2020 through September 30th, 2021, and to send the completed agreement to the,
We'll put it in.
before October 9th, 2020.
Support.
Gosh, I couldn't tell if that was Bob or Jason.
It was Jason.
It was Jason, okay. Okay, any discussion on this one? Okay, I have a motion by Clerk Allen, and it is seconded by Trustee Rumble to have the clerk sign the distribution site agreement between OPC and Brandon Township from October 1st, 2020 through September 30th, 2021, and send the completed agreement to the ombudsperson before October 9th, 2020. Okay, last chance for questions or discussion. Seeing none, roll call, please.
Allen,
Yes.
Broughton,
Yes.
Palma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Rumble,
Yes.
Thurman,
Yes, motion carries unanimously. That brings us to our last item this evening, and that would be to approve amendment to Oakland County Sheriff's Office 2019 to 2021 Law Enforcement Service Agreement with the Charter Township of Brandon for the Public Safety and Public Health Payroll and Reimbursement Program or other CARES Act grant funding as presented. Would
Kathy,
someone
on
like
this,
to make that? Are you making that motion, Scott?
I'll make the motion just to be able to discuss it.
I'll support.
Okay. Did you have a question, Scott?
I do. Just in reading this, can you give us a synopsis of this amendment? Is this really more of an addendum versus an amendment? Or if it's an amendment, what is it changing?
Kathy, you're muted.
I'm muted?
No, she's not.
You're not
God,
muted.
wasn't talking.
But did you hear the
Okay.
question?
I did. Okay, so what happened was through the CARES Act funding, they're going to reimburse us for 2 months of the straight time wages that the deputies are making at our substation. So that money will go back into the police fund that we have. So Lieutenant Glover brought me this on last Thursday, and he said I needed to sign it, and so I went ahead and signed it because it's not an expenditure of funds, it's money coming back. And then there was further conversation with the Oakland County Sheriff's Office, and they said, well, we need to approve the amendment of our contract. So I thought it was on here what they were going to include. Purpose.
So we don't really know the amount yet. It's not going to exceed $230,000, but we don't know what the amount is yet.
Right. For now, they're talking 50% of this will come from the what was it called? SOM program. And then what we could do is submit the other 50% to the county, but they haven't decided yet how much they're awarding us, because now after they said 50%, then they started talking 75%.
Okay. Either way, there's, as I've scanned this now, and now I understand the purpose, there's really no downside to doing this.
No, I couldn't see any.
Okay. Fair enough.
It's a rarity that we get money back, so let's grab it.
Yes, and Candy, I thought I read something over, but it doesn't say right on here exactly how the amendment is worded. This amendment of the Law Enforcement Service Agreement. Yeah. I think the resolution just in itself must be the amendment. Any other questions? Okay. Again, I have a motion by Trustee Broughton, and it is seconded by Clerk Allen to approve the amendment to the Oakland County Sheriff's Office 2019 to 2021 Law Enforcement Service Agreement with the Charter Township of Brandon for the Public Safety and Public Health Payroll Reimbursement Program or other CARES Act grant funding as presented. Any other discussion before we vote? Okay, seeing none, roll call, please.
Broughton,
Yes.
De Palma,
Yes.
Cordella,
Yes.
Marshall,
Yes.
Humble,
Yes.
Allen,
Yes.
Sherman,
Yes, motion carries unanimously. So that brings us to citizens' comments. If there are any citizens out there that would like to make a comment, please unmute yourself and state your name. Okay, I am hearing none. So that completes our citizens' comments. At this time, we'll do board comments. Are there any board members that would like to make a comment this evening? Please either wave or state your name.
Candy,
Okay, Candy.
I just want to wish everybody a happy and safe Halloween and everybody stay well.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else? All right, we're all being quiet because we want to adjourn our meeting, I think. So we'll move on to adjourning. Who would like to make the motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Marshall, Cordella, second. I have a motion by Trustee Marshall to adjourn the meeting, and that is seconded by Trustee Cordella. All in favor, please signify by saying aye.
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 Those opposed, say nay. Motion carries unanimously. The meeting is now adjourned.
Have a good night, everyone.
Yep.
Aye.
Yep,
Happy
have a good night.
Halloween.
Bye, everybody.